For centuries, the Golden Temple in Amritsar has united all the Sikhs in India. In the Holy of Holies, the Granth Sahib is kept. This is the holy book written by Guru Nanak, who founded the Sikh religion 5 centuries ago. Hari Singh comes here once or twice a year. This man belongs to the caste of Sikh warriors. Hari Singh is a Nihang.
Our duty is to spread the religion. We must also look after other people. For us, whether you are a Hindu, a Sikh or a Muslim, it's all the same. We have no animosity towards anybody, and we have nothing to do with politics.
The Nihangs are the warrior monks of Sikhism. Hari Singh is a fencing master. His pupil, Yoga, is only 6 years old.
These arms are made for warfare. The shield is held like this, and the sword is held in the other hand. I teach the children everything.
In the 17th century, the Mughals invaded the north of India. The Sikhs were victims of the Muslim rulers' intolerance. Guru Govind Singh, the great religious leader of the time, was shocked by this oppression. He called for a holy war. The Sikhs took up arms. The Nihangs were born. Force is permitted as a last resort against injustice. Sukha and Yoga are the youngest warriors in the Nihang army.
Yes, I take part in the festivals too.
What do you do?
I play with the weapons and I also ride the horses.
The Nihangs live like nomads. They follow pilgrimages and religious festivals and set up camp at the entrance to towns. Hari Singh and all his brothers at arms, even today, follow the orders given by Guru Govind Singh. With their weapons and their lives, they serve the cause of justice and respect the dogma of their religion. Their behavior must be a blend of devotion, peace, and force. The adepts of Sikhism must have the spiritual qualities of a saint and the physical strength of a soldier. In every village they stop at, the Nihangs are welcomed with respect and enthusiasm. They are magnificent horsemen, and their demonstrations always attract large crowds. Yoga and his friend Sukha still have only wooden swords, but for them, fencing is by no means a game. In spite of their tender age, they are already part of the Nihang army.
All year long, there are religious festivals.
Where are you going after this festival?
To Nadar in Maharashtra. We'll stay there for 7 days.
When they have to get to another festival, Hari Singh becomes a truck driver. He is responsible for the sacred weapons which are exhibited every time in order to remind people that they must always be prepared to defend their faith. The Nihangs are great travellers. Their carts crisscross the roads of the Punjab incessantly. This rich state in the northwest of India has a 90% Sikh population. The oldest people accompany Hari Singh on board his truck. Before he became a Nihang, Hari Singh was in fact a truck driver. His almost reckless driving on these crowded roads is proof of this. Between two festivals or pilgrimages, the members of Hari Singh's community like to return to their village. All these men come from Baba Bakala. Becoming a member of a community of warrior monks is a choice which any Sikh can make at any age. He may even be married and a father. If one day he decides to become a soldier of God, he entrusts his family to a brother or his father and adopts the cloak and the lifestyle of the Nihangs. As for yoga, he didn't make the choice himself. His real father entrusted him to Hari Singh 2 years ago. These men are always on the road. They have learned how to do everything: cooking, washing, and teaching the young. Hari Singh looks after yoga like a mother. This child is to become a soldier as he is. He teaches him to fight, but he also knows how to wash his hair gently.
God gave us hair, and our guru made a rule that we must never cut it. It is a symbol of the Sikh religion, the mark of real Sikhs.
You never cut it?
No, we never cut it. For us, it's also a sign of beauty.
And is it the same for children?
Yes, we never cut the children's hair. You can always recognize a real Sikh by his hair.
All Sikhs, whether they are Nihangs or not, must wear the 5 attributes of the religion: the kas, the long hair; the kirpan, the dagger; the kak, the trousers; the kanga, the comb; and the kera, the steel bracelet. On the other hand, the Nihangs are the only ones who wear a tunic. It is blue, yellow, black, or white. These are the 4 symbolic colors chosen by our founder father, Govind Singh. Yoga's real parents live near Baba Bakala. His father, Udham, is a farmer. He belongs to the lay community of the Nihangs, those who have a trade and a sedentary lifestyle. All the same, he wears his sword when he goes to the fields. Yoga's mother looks after the house where her two other sons and the grandmother live. When they talk about yoga, there is no hint of sadness on the mother's face. On the contrary. Was it difficult for you to give yoga to Hari Singh?
No, I was not sad at all. Yoga will spend his life in the service of God. He will lead us to Him. He will spend his life getting closer to God and will help us too to get close to Him. I'm happy to know that He's there.
When they were expecting their third child, Yoga's parents made a wish that it would be a son. At his birth, when they saw that their wish was fulfilled, they made a gift of yoga to Hari Singh's community. Their son was to be a soldier of God. Do you feel that giving away your third son was like making a sacrifice?
No, there was no sacrifice for us. When you make a gift to God, there is neither loss nor gain. However much a man gives to God is never enough. We are not capable of giving enough.
Would you like to be in yoga's shoes?
No.
Do you go to school?
Yes.
What else do you do?
I help father.
And you go to the fields?
Yes, I go to the fields.
What do you tell your friends about yoga?
I say he's a soldier.
Not far away from their parents' house, Yoga and Sukha lead the same life as other children. In the morning, they go to school. They are taught how to read and write, of course, but school, like the rest of the Nihang way of life, has a religious slant.
Very early on, they read the Granth Sahib, the Holy Book. Whoever studies this will have a good life. Whoever can receive the words of our Master will have success in life. They learn how to live according to the Spirit of God and with respect for our laws.
The Nihangs live in small groups gathered around a spiritual leader, the Babaji. He is responsible for the cohesion of the community, and it is he who gives each member a task to carry out. When Hari Singh is in Baba Bakala, he always pays a visit to the old master who trained him. In spite of his great age, he is still the leader of the community. They say that he is more than 90 years old.
Baba.
I'm always the servant of the Babaji. We are all his servants. As he's very old, we must give him a lot of massage. Everybody comes to see him. People of all religions worship him. If we want something, we ask the Babaji. He asks God, and we get it. If somebody wants a child or a car, we must ask him. The Babaji will intercede with God and our request is granted.
In the morning, the two boys are sent out to cut grass. They each have a horse and have to take care of it. Yoga and Sukha are the two youngest members of the community. They're always together. Sukha's parents died 2 years ago, and one of his uncles wanted him to be brought up by the Nihangs. Every Nihang has a horse. They have stuck to this means of getting about, both out of respect for their tradition as horsemen and also because it is practical. After all, it isn't very easy to take a train with all the trappings of a warrior, even if the Indian constitution, by special decree, authorizes Sikhs to carry arms.
Yes, it is my horse. Hari Singh gave it to me. I'm not allowed to ride it during the big festivals. I'm still too small.
The Nihangs receive a very thorough upbringing. For example, they all learn how to cook. The traditional hospitality of Sikhs means that every day a large quantity of food must be prepared. The fare is always very simple: buckwheat pancakes and lentils. Sikhs are not vegetarians, but mutton is reserved for special occasions. Do you have set times for meals?
No, people can come at any time. It's always like that here. When someone comes, we have to offer him food. It is God who gives. All this is a gift from God. Every day, we cook for 400 to 500 people. On festival days, we can provide as many as 1,000 or 1,200 meals.
Every morning, Yoga and Sukha train with Hari Singh. There are at least 10 weapons in the Nihang warriors' equipment. This training is no game. In 4 or 5 years' time, the children must be able to master the art of combat. Today, Yoga is very proud of himself. Hari Singh has allowed him to use a sword instead of the usual wooden stick reserved for apprentice warriors. In 1984, the Sikhs became notorious all over the world. Some Sikh extremists occupied the Golden Temple in Amritsar. They demanded the setting up of an independent state. The Indian Army's assault on the temple cost around 100 lives. Later, Indira Gandhi herself lost her life because of this decision to intervene using force. Afterwards, the Nihangs were often accused of having been the instigators of the rebellion. Today, Hari Singh and his brothers deny this, but remain reserved about this painful episode in their history.
Whenever a woman, a child, or a poor person is attacked, we may use our weapons. If somebody comes to us and complains that he has been unjustly treated, we're always ready to help him. We are here to defend just causes, to keep the peace among people. That's why our arms may be useful.
Have you had anything to do with the terrorists? I don't know anything about that. We have nothing to do with them. We are monks in the service of God. We have nothing to do with terrorists.
God attracted me here. He called upon me to serve him.
Didn't you like your former way of life?
No, I lacked for nothing at home. I didn't have any problems. I simply followed God's will.
Many Nihangs follow the example of this man. One fine day, they just give up everything, work, family, in order to join a community of soldiers. There's no strict rule about it. They don't have to pronounce any vows or be unmarried. Each man is free one day or another to put his life entirely at the service of God. Udham, Yoga's father, hearing that his son is close by, takes the opportunity to go and embrace him. Yoga is happy to see his father again. Relations between Hari Singh and Udham are cordial and brotherly. Yoga's two fathers strive towards the same goal, to make this child a man who will serve the Sikh religion so that the Nihang tradition will continue. Moreover, Yoga is very proud to show his father that he now knows by heart some passages from the holy book. What did you do before you came here?
I went to school, but there I wasn't allowed to wear these soldiers' clothes.
I shall see Yoga again in 2 months' time because there is a festival in the region. After the festival, he'll come home with me.
How long will he stay?
He'll stay just one night.
Will he go back to Hari Singh afterwards?
Yes, that's his place now.
The presence of the Nihangs in the village always attracts a large crowd. Today, many people have come to Baba Bakala. The Nihangs organize a great parade before continuing their pilgrimage. Every demonstration given by the Nihangs has a sacred character. They are not here to entertain the population, but to reassure them that they are brave warriors. The day of the festival begins with a reading from the Granth Sahib. While the prayers are being said, the villagers come to give a little money to the community of soldiers. In the Sikh religion, there are no images or idols. The sole object of worship is the holy book. It is a 1,430-page volume drawn up by the founder of the religion, Guru Nanak, and his disciples. A veritable army of Nihangs sets off to combat before a large crowd. Hari Singh has been a Nihang for nearly 15 years. As a young Sikh, he left for Bombay at the age of 20 to become a truck driver. After an accident, he returned to his village. One day, he met the Babaji. He was so impressed by the old master that he decided to become a soldier himself. Later, the Babaji entrusted him with the training of the young. When asked what inspired him to become a warrior monk, Hari Singh's answer is clear. He fell in love with the Nihang lifestyle.
Everyone who follows us is a warrior. Every demonstration we give is like a training session. If we had to defend our religion tomorrow, there would be many of us who would take up arms.
In the villages around, everybody knows the Nihangs. Each family brings a gift. It may be food or money. Nothing is compulsory, but the cohesion of Sikh society is based on this mutual aid. The Nihangs are the standard bearers of Sikh tradition. They organize the religious programs. When a temple is being built, they come and help. Have the Nihangs helped you?
No, never.
Would you go to them if you're in difficulty?
Yes, but now there are no problems in the region.
What do you think about the Nihangs? What do I think?
The Nihangs are our soldiers. We worship them. If we need them, we know that they will come.
As for me, when I need help, I pray to God, above all. He is the only one who can save us. When he is not wielding his sword, Hari Singh devotes his time to reading the holy texts. By so doing, he respects the wishes of Guru Govind Singh, who was famous for possessing the rigor of a soldier and the devotion of a saint. Hari Singh brings his children up the hard way, but he also shows them a great deal of affection. Like a father who is proud of his children, from time to time he gives them a little pocket money to buy sweetmeats. The Nihang community has a strict structure. Each village has its headman. This man fulfills the functions of mayor and spiritual leader.
Our 10th Guru, Govind Singh, authorized force in order to defend our values. If we continue to teach the use of weapons, it is so that we can be prepared to fight against injustice, if it occurs. It is not a political act. It is the respect of a tradition. There are no written rules for us. Each man decides for himself to do his duty with the love of God.
Now, in the middle of April, it is the Nihang's duty to go to Anandpur. The festival of Hola Mohalla is the year's most important gathering of Nihangs. Thousands of men flock to this holy city where Guru Govind Singh, the founder father, is buried. In April, the anniversary of his death is celebrated here. It is several hundred kilometers from Baba Bakala to Anandpur. At the rate of 30 to 40 kilometers a day, the journey takes a good week. Throughout the journey, the Nihangs are welcomed everywhere by the villagers. Wherever they go, they are given a field to plant their tents and also food, which the men share with their horses.